everybody, and welcome to episode 393 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering, no matter what format you are enjoying at this particular moment in time.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about some those bans coming up here because no matter what format you like, you might be affected. I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, wowie, we were hit with the ban hammer hard this morning.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, literally.
Just like every hammer I've ever known.
When you're trying to put up a picture, you're just like, whoa, there's this hammer in my hand.
Yeah.
Holy canola oil. Yeah. The bans were shocking and surprising, and any other word that you can find in the thesaurus underneath shocking or surprising.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to talk about that in length and what that means for all these different formats and what cards we're excited to brew with now that it is open season.
We're going to talk about the cards in Standard that have not had their moment to shine.
Yes.
That we want to see take their second in the spotlight and really just, like belt it out to the crowd.
I agree.
We want them to have their Oscar-winning moment where they turn to the camera and they show you why they were in this business in the first place.
Absolutely. I want to see it. I want to see a million new decks.
Yes.
I want to see every deck I play against be different.
I want to hear us answer the question, who in these cards is the Daniel Day-Lewis of Magic?
And which one is the Meryl Streep?
Ooh, great question.
Have Meryl Streep and Daniel Day-Lewis done a movie together?
Probably. Or maybe not.
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Maybe it would just be too much.
We just couldn't handle it.
Yeah. The cameras would spontaneously break.
We couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Do you know why? So Meryl Streep's won an Oscar, obviously.
Yes.
But there was some joke I heard that was like, why has she never won something? The answer is because she's being judged by a jury of her peers and she has no peers.
Yes.
I've told it so wrong. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Oh, it's something like, why was Meryl Streep never convicted for murder?
Oh, that's what it is.
Because she can't be judged by a jury of her peers.
I really liked it.
Yes.
Hey, guess what else, everybody?
We are in our new office.
Yay!
We are sitting here
at human person
at this very expansive table with a very beautiful and kind of industrial set behind us that has, still has some ways to go.
Yes.
Before it is done. But we are so excited.
We wanted to be in here and record for you from our new space that we have been waiting for many, many months now.
So many months.
We call it the new office.
Yes, exactly. It's still going to be Theros, even though technically the space immediately before this was going to be Theros, but we never recorded. We didn't get to record once from there.
Yeah.
Because, we started moving things and then there was COVID and then there was a fire in that building and flooding. So,
So this is now officially Theros, everybody. Yay!
Not only that, but because this office has 3 rooms, this is also Ravnica because we decided that this room of the office is called Ravnica.
Yeah, because we have a great Ravnica sign from our last office. Why, why waste it?
Exactly.
Reuse it. This is Ravnica / Theros.
Yes, it is.
Ravnica is nested inside Theros, much like a Russian nesting doll.
Yeah.
Oh man, I saw some Russian nesting dolls for sale the other day. There's like 15 of them. When I was little, I just loved them.
I mean, who wasn't obsessed with Russian nesting dolls when they were kids if you came across one?
They were so cool.
Exactly. It was like your mind was just blown by the fact that they could fit inside of each other and the last one was tiny.
The last one was so small.
It's so true.
Okay, I don't know what kind of phenomenon that is. But I feel like that's universal.
Yes, universal just having your mind blown by Russian nesting dolls as a child.
Yes.
I feel like it's just like part of your learning about spatial awareness as a kid.
I guess so. It was so small. Maybe it's why I also like tiny bones. Their bones are so small.
Their bones are so small. I also briefly thought that we should say, what if the whole office was called the Blind Eternities?
I mean,
this is Theros.
Mark Rosewater refuses to make a set in the Blind Eternities. So
whatever.
I haven't recorded from a normal setup in so long that I just whacked my own self in the face with this microphone.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so happy. Look, I love my apartment. I love my desk, but I'm so happy to not be sitting at my desk recording right now.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Oh,
Wow.
boy. Well, before we plunge into today's episode, much like you plunge into a cool lake on a hot summer day, we have some people to thank.
Yes.
First and foremost is you patrons of this show. Thank you so much to anyone who is supporting this show at literally any dollar amount that you are able to. If you are not yet a patron, but you have an extra buck or two to throw our way every week or every month, please consider it, because it lets us do stuff like move into an awesome new space to bring you awesome content.
Yes, we have so much more room now to do everything that you've ever dreamed about or wanted us to do, and also to help our community and make it a better place for creators of all different kinds.
Yeah.
And, who knows? The opportunities are literally limitless here in this new space. It's just so wonderful. Well, we're going to put pictures of it up over on patreon.com/GLHF if you want to see some inside looks. Maybe we'll put a video up, a nice little tour of the space, because it's really, really cool. And it's just in its baby phase now. But it is literally possible because of you, the patrons, and everybody who supported our special campaign for a new office. Thank you so much. Your names will be going up on the Gods of Theros wall very, very soon. We've got pins to send out to people that we can start working on now because we're in a new space for Patreon Pledge Drive month.
Oh, so exciting.
And,
we know that so many of you are waiting for mail from us.
Yeah.
And now we can finally start mailing things again.
Thank Gorb.
Yes.
And
support the U.S. Postal Service, which we very much want to do.
Oh, yes. 100%. Somebody gave us a great idea about that, by the way. Thank you for emailing. And I have to tell Meghan about it. I almost forgot.
All right. I'm very excited to hear about it.
But yeah, thank you so much. And please become a new member today if you haven't. It's so fast, and it can be $1 a month over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic.
Thank you as well to our sponsors, Card Kingdom, cardkingdom.com/GLHF Magic. Just a great place to go for all of your magic needs. What a delightful set of people who are still supporting creators even during a very tumultuous time in the entire world.
Yeah.
And it just means so much to still support your community, even when, things are just completely off the walls.
Yeah, for sure. Card Kingdom has been there through the tough times.
Off the rails?
Sure. Walls or rails.
Off the walls. Off the
Off
rails.
the ceiling. To the walls.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't.
Nope.
They've been so great to us, so let's continue to support them too. If you need some Jumpstart product to hang out and play at home, they're selling double masters over there too, if that's more your speed. You need sleeves.
Yes.
You're like, hey, this is the time I'm going to sleeve up all of my decks. I'm going to foil out my decks now while I have nothing else to do. Like, hey, Card Kingdom is a place to go.
Get it done.
Yes. Should we talk about this thing right here, or should we wait?
Oh, no, we should talk about it right now.
Okay.
We also are super excited now that MTG Melee exists that we are going to run a tournament.
Yay!
Just a tiny, dipping our toe in the water.
Yes.
But we're going to have a historic Singleton Good Luck High Five Open.
I'm so excited for this.
We love historic Singleton. We love Singleton.
Yes.
We love historic.
Yes.
So we're just going to slap those two things together. And have a historic Singleton tournament. We're going to pretty aggressively cap the number of people just so that we can try and figure out what's going on. But it is going to be on, mark your calendar, August 22nd. That's a Saturday. And we'll have more details in the coming weeks.
Yes.
But for right now, if that sounds fun to you, mark it on your calendar. And we hope to see you there.
Yeah, we'll let you know when it goes live and when you're able to sign up for it, but start brewing ideas for your historic Singleton deck in your heads, because we want our listeners and our viewers to be the first people to enter this tournament. It will be open though, so anybody can enter, but we would definitely want you all to be in there first.
Yes, because we will have prizes.
Prizes!
We'll have stuff, booster prizes, box prizes, swag prizes. There will be prizes associated.
Speaking of Daniel Day-Lewis movies, there will be prizes. Was one of my favorites.
Love that film. Love that film. Yep. There will be prizes.
There will be prizes. Hey everybody, it's time to talk some BANS and future standard.
That's right. So they just full on slapped us with that ban announcement this morning.
Oh yeah, big time.
They put the smackdown on standard and just about every other format. Pioneer, historic, brawl, They're all named.
You know what? When I first saw this announcement, my initial reaction was laughter.
Maria just kept cackling.
I think it's so funny because
like she would look at it and just laugh.
Because like the player base, at least online, on everyone's favorite social media platform, Twitter, has been extremely vocal and extremely upset.
And so negative.
Very, very negative.
Most negative.
For a very long time now.
Call them electrons. They're all negative.
And we're not saying they're wrong.
No, but we're just saying that like,
yeah, but it was negative. It was pretty aggro.
Yeah.
And never, I don't think in my history had I seen such a long and such a sustained call for bans.
Yeah.
I mean, Hogak is the one I remember, I think, most recently before this, but that was a much narrower case being modern and not standard.
Yes.
And it was a shorter period of time people were complaining.
Yeah.
So these bans just felt like a huge, you know what? If you're mad, here you go. We're taking it all down.
Exactly. Like, hey, you like complaining? Guess what? We'll get rid of everything that you have complained about.
It's all gone.
Every single one.
All of it.
It's kind of like, it feels like The Boy Who Cried Wolf story.
Yes.
Where they're just like, I hope you really meant it. When you said you hated it, I hope you really meant it. Because guess what? It's gone.
It's gone.
If you were just complaining to complain, that's too bad. It gone.
Yeah, so in case you're not aware, standard Wilderness Reclamation banned, Growth Spiral banned, Teferi Time Reveler banned, Cauldron Familiar banned.
Yes.
That's everything.
Axe. I mean, it's not Uro. That buddy could be on here.
That's true. You can still play your Uro deck, everybody.
There you go. You can still play Uro. I don't know.
I mean, okay, let's just start with this chunk because this nerfs most all of the top decks, specifically Wilderness Reclamation, Four-Color Reclamation.
Obviously, just sort of like, you know, big stake to the heart of that vamp.
And Sacrifice decks with Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven, which, you know what? We talked about this on the upkeep. I am not mad about a single one of these.
No.
Goodbye.
Do you know what? Even as a control player who appreciates a lot about Teferi Time Reveler.
Oh, for sure.
Like, he can get out.
Wow. I mean, I've played with the card before.
He can be shown the door.
I didn't hate him. I wasn't even that mad about him.
Right. Like, it is kind of funny because sometimes they were even talking about over coverage this weekend of the tournament. There are times when, like, especially like Jund Sacrifice doesn't care about your Teferi. They're not casting anything. They're just sacrificing a bunch of random things.
And what I did with aggro decks is I just played a lot of 1-drops so that I had 2 creatures out and then one was free to kill Teferi.
Exactly. And then Teferi just dies. But they're like, no, you complained about him. He's gone.
He's gone. He's out.
Exactly. You didn't like that dinner party guest? We booted him from the restaurant.
Wilderness Rec, of course.
Don't be going to restaurants right now.
Teferi was in a restaurant. Sorry.
Teferi was in a restaurant and we're mad about it.
Yeah, Wilderness Rec, I think, is the obvious biggest offender here. Growth Spiral makes me laugh very hard because they're just like...
do you know what? You didn't like it?
You don't want mana cheats?
Bye.
Guess what? You don't have one.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Cauldron Familiar, I love cats, but I hate that cat with a burning passion. So bye. Pioneer Inverter of Truth is banned in Pioneer, which is a long time coming, honestly.
All the combo cards.
Yeah.
Inverter of Truth, Kethis, Walking Ballista, and Underworld Breach.
You're right.
They're like, guess what? Goodbye to combos.
Yeah.
I hope that you're going to get your pretzel cheese elsewhere.
You are a combo fan, so how does this make you feel?
You know, I am not a person who has played Pioneer, so...
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah, I mean, we also said this on the upkeep. I haven't played Pioneer in 1,000 years, haven't thought about it since all of the Players Tour regional events.
Yeah, exactly. And I think because Pioneer... right? Like, it was launched and it was really cool.
Yep.
And a lot of the ways that it was, like, lots of people got on board with it. Like, Star City was like, yes, we're changing some format. Like, we're going to change formats of these events. We're going to make them Pioneer. But it was heavily in-person supported.
Yes.
And, like, it's a real bummer that I think that, like, Pioneer has certainly been one aspect of Magic that is suffering because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
Is because it was something that people were really getting into playing in person, right? People had these cards in their collections already.
Absolutely.
Because they had been playing since Return to Ravnica. So they were like, yeah, I've got this available to me. And I was like, never never mind. Like, you can't play it in person. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, and of course you can play it on Magic Online, where it's been thriving, or at least surviving right now.
Yeah.
But not being able to play it on Arena is a really big drawback right now. Specifically, they are working towards getting it there.
Yeah.
With the new Amonkhet Remastered coming out this fall.
Yeah.
But
and I love Amonkhet. I'm excited to see Amonkhet again.
What was your favorite part about Amonkhet?
Cycling.
Yes. Cycling was pretty cool. Yes.
Oh, I hope that we have what's the second sun?
Oh, Approach of the Second Sun?
I hope that there's Approach of the Second Sun in there. Let's see it. Let's do it. Let's get it done.
Historic Wilderness Reclamation getting suspended and Teferi Time Raveler getting suspended.
Yeah. Goodbye to both of those. We talked last week about how Wilderness Reclamation was getting its nasty little hands all over Historic.
It really was.
It was getting its
paws.
It was getting its paws
out
all
of my format.
Over Historic, and no one was happy about it.
No. I played in the Historic Open last weekend. Quick, brief story time.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love the Arena Opens. I think they're really fun, and I love Historic.
Yeah.
And I ended up playing Mono White Auras list, which was very successful, got me into day number 2 after 2 tries. And quick pause about this format, because day 1 is best of 1, day 2 best of 3, same format. And some people were kind of sad that day 1 they don't limit the amount of tries you get to make it into day 2, meaning that it's kind of really bad for people who have kind of an addictive personality or might be like prone to gambling or putting too much money into something that they shouldn't. So some people said what you should do is set yourself a hard limit and say, I'm only going to do 3 times. That's it. And then I'm stopping. And then maybe that's something that Wizards can consider, like you get 3 tries and that's it, to kind of stop people from being like, I had to play 6 times, 10 times, because it really adds up. It's not cheap. Not cheap as far as gems go. Like Croakies, I think, took 6 tries to qualify for day number 2. So yeah, anyway, that's just a quick note that if you have a problem with that, like think about ways to limit yourself. But yeah, I played Mono White Auras on day 1. Didn't realize it was a best of 3 deck that I was playing. So I just took it to best of 3 on day number 2. And I managed to get 2 wins, which was good for 4,000 gems. Or was that 3 wins? I can't remember. Whatever it is, I got 4,000 gems. So I won my money back. And I also got 2,000 for making day 2. So I guess I netted 2,000 gems.
Yeah, that's sick.
It was really, really fun to play in a tournament that was competitive again. It just, like I've said before, when I get the opportunity to do that during this COVID time, I'm like, the adrenaline just surges. It was just so fun. I think my deck was really good and a good choice. Who did you tell me won the $2,000 with it?
Miguel Simoes.
Yeah, Miguel Simoes won 2,000 with it. So it's a real deck.
Yeah.
And it was really good about team against Wilderness Reclamation, which was what reminded me of this story.
And I saw a bunch of, like, if you just look on Twitter, like search Arena Open, a lot of pros tweeted the decks that they played. And there is a fair amount of Wilderness Reclamation in there. But I remember that, especially on Saturday during the best of 1 portion, I was looking at it and I was like, this is so cool. Like, there were so many cool decks. All of the first ones that were coming across my feed were really cool decks that people were playing. There was like a mono green aggro that maybe like Willie Adel or someone like that played.
Yes. Who am I thinking of right now who played... there's a mono black one, which was really neat. I played against it a few times.
Matt Sperling played like a Gruul aggro, I want to say, or something like that.
Yes, Gruul aggro.
Then like I think Marcio Carvalho played this mono white auras one.
Some people playing a sacrifice deck, but basically like Jund Sacrifice.
Yeah. So it's like, if you are interested in what could you be playing now in Historic, now that Wilderness Rec and Teferi are gone, go and check out some of those lists, especially if you're just laddering with some best of 1 Historic, because there were some really cool decks in there that are just like, I think the mono green one was the one that made me most be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what?
I think I have high hopes for Historic now with these 2 suspensions, which I anticipate will be turned into bans.
Yes.
Brawl also has a ban, which is Teferi Time Raveler.
All right.
So there you go. That's all the bans.
Cool.
And restrictions from Monday.
We touched a little bit on Historic. Like we said, mostly just go like look at some of those decks from day 1 because people are already a little bit off Reclamation.
Yeah.
But then today we're going to talk about some cards that we think that like people need to like, we need to all buckle down and like find some sweet decks for these cards.
I agree. Okay. Kicking it off. Luminous Brood Moth.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Luminous Brood Moth is super cool. It is the 2 white for a flyer. And it says whenever a non-token or a creature without flying, a non-token creature without flying dies, it comes back onto the battlefield under your control with a flying counter on it.
Okay, I'm going to keep you honest here.
Okay.
I think you did pretty good.
I think I did way better than I eventually got there. Whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is a card that I think a lot of pros had their sights on early on, like, ooh, this is really, really powerful. I know Reed Duke mentioned to me that this was a card he expected to become more powerful with rotation, and even the release of some new sets. And I'm like, yes, I'm here for it. This card seems like it would be great in a creature deck, maybe with Boss 3 Ket, even though Boss 3 is making tokens. So, but whatever, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm trying to think of okay, this is too much, but if there was a Bant Uro deck where you play this and then you play
why are
Uro,
you carrying Uro right now?
and then it goes away and then it comes back. Anyways. I shouldn't be bringing up Uro since that's one of the things we're saying goodbye to. I'm just thinking of any of the Titans that you sacrifice.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You can do Mardu with Kroxa.
Okay, I'm here.
I knew it.
Crooks is so rude.
It would be so rude. That would be so mean.
Very mean.
Can you imagine this and then you're just like, okay, Kroxa, you twice in one turn for 2 mana?
Would that really work? Is it dying? I guess you sacrificed it.
Yes, and you wouldn't get it, but you would get the 2 triggers of it.
I love it.
Because it would come into play and then they discard and then you have to sacrifice it and then it died, so Luminous Broodmoth is like, bring it back. And so it comes back and then it triggers again and then but it has to you have to sacrifice it again because you still didn't escape it. But
I love it.
But still, right? That's
I think you broke it.
Wow, you
broke the format.
Done.
First try here. First card.
Mardu Kroxa Broodmoth.
Format broken.
All right, we're done here.
We're building it.
Oh, good day, everybody.
Even though we've already broken it, let's continue.
Yes.
Another one of my all-time favorites is Ephemia the Cacophony.
Yes.
Which I did play with in Standard, but I would say the deck was tier 2.5 or 3. Flying, at the beginning of your end step, you may exile an enchantment card from your graveyard. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token 2/1 flyer at rare. I love this card. I love it. I love it.
I want to see this card in a mono black control or some kind of black based control because you can what's the 1 mana -2/2?
You dead weight?
You can dead weight, you can Mire's Grasp.
Yep.
These are all enchantments and then they kill something and it goes to your graveyard and then you just get to you can make a zombie with it.
Yeah, we were having fun with that with this deck plus Luris back in the day.
Yes.
Before Luris got the nerf.
Oh, and man, because that was brutal. They could just kill something every turn. You're just like, oh, cast this dead weight again.
Dead weight you.
Cast this dead weight again.
Grasp you again. Yep.
Oh.
It was really sweet.
Yarf.
I do truly love this card. And if an enchantments deck can happen, this deck has already been around, but it wasn't quite good enough. Is it good enough now? Question mark. Remains to be seen, but I'm excited for it.
Oh, I really, Ephemia is a really cool card.
Super cool design. It's my favorite card that's been printed recently, so I have high hopes.
Or if there's some kind of Stitcher's Supplier, mill yourself, and then on turn 2 you play Ephemia and already get a 2/2.
Well, you can do that too. Well, yeah, that's another way to do it because you can also do it with what's the card that I've already forgotten the name of the card that is an enchantment and it mills you and you make zombies. You exile something from your graveyard. It's a saga. Timurettes, whatever.
But I'm talking about turn 1, right? Because you can play Stitcher's Supplier turn 1.
That's a great point.
If you want to get aggro with things, Stitcher's Supplier, Ephemia, make a zombie already.
Okay, that would be pretty sweet. I like that.
You have 5 power on turn 2, Maria. Think about it.
Okay.
Think about it.
I'm going to have to put enough enchantments in that I'll be trying to make sure to try and hit with my supplier and then play my... Oh, yeah, this is great.
You know what? You want to play this in Historic? You get Crypt Breaker.
That's true. Okay. All right, everyone. The wheels are turning.
I'm just putting
ingredients.
I feel like this is just putting ingredients on the counter and being like, "What do you want to make?"
You know what's wild? Cooking.
Cooking is nuts. I was specifically thinking of baking.
Yeah, for sure. Baking is what I was thinking of.
I do not think about cooking. I hate it.
Cooking's the worst. Baking is fun.
Yes.
I made just like, it doesn't matter. Whatever. It doesn't matter. When I'm sitting there making it, I'm like, this is something literally out of Zelda. I'm taking an egg. I'm taking a milk. I'm taking a sugar. I'm taking another sugar. I put them in a thing and it makes something different.
I want to know what you're making with milk, egg, sugar.
You've never had... What would that turn out to be?
I don't know.
Really sloppy.
It's like kind of a meringue, but for some reason you put milk in it.
Somebody please make this and send us a video of the final product.
Milk, egg, sugar.
Another kind of sugar. What does it make? Something horrible. But every time I do it, it just feels so weird. It feels like alchemy.
It is. It's chemistry.
Like I put an egg in here and I put some random like little sprinkling of this thing. I poured something in here, put another like.
Do you know what I love? So, okay, here's a key to really great really great sweets baking that I'm going to give you all right now for like cookies or anything that has sugars and eggs in it, or not sugars and eggs, sugars and butter, is that when they say cream the butter, like I want you to leave that butter out like all day, overnight. It should be just like falling apart. It's so soft.
Great.
Put that in there. Like you just still like whip it for like 2 minutes.
Would you say you whip it good?
You whip it good. Like whip it good. And it should be very soft, like really, really soft, like the consistency of like mayonnaise almost. And then you put your sugar in there and then you keep beating it for like 2 more minutes. And it should not feel grainy at all.
Okay.
Like just keep going. And then when you put eggs in, don't overmix it at all.
Okay.
Like you have to only barely mix once the eggs are in there.
Great.
You're all welcome for that. Baking is chemistry.
It's magic.
It really is. It's very cool.
It's just bizarre how it makes something.
Cooking can bite me.
Anyway. Ashiok. Nightmare abuse.
Here's more ingredients for your baking.
You remember this buddy was in a few decks. I think never really got a chance to shine though.
No. And do you know what? It's because it's like kind of a weird card, right? It's like, it's not aggro and it's not quite control either.
Not quite, but I think it's...
Maybe it's like a tempo-y kind of card.
It's very like powerful.
So Ashiok is 3 blue-black for a 5 loyalty planeswalker, and their +1 says, create a 2/2 blue and black nightmare creature token
2/3.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. 2/3 token with whenever this creature attacks or blocks, each opponent exiles the top 2 cards of their library. -3, you return a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then that player discards a card from their hand, or exiles a card from their hand. And then -7, you may cast up to 3 face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana costs.
Sick.
It's like very cool, and if you can get to that -7, it's very powerful.
Yeah, the +1 ability here of this Ashiok, I think, is excellent.
Yeah, making those little 2/3s.
I mean, I know it costs 5 mana, but 2/3 is kind of a heck of a card to deal with.
And it goes up to 6 loyalty.
Yeah, it goes right up to 6.
And I will say, I was being a little mean on it about removal. Or like not being a control card. But I will say that at 5, if you're against an aggro deck, there will be times, like a 2/3 can sometimes stop an aggro deck.
For real, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, a 2/3, okay, I can't attack through that.
But also if they've cast all the cards in their hand, you just -3, and it's a permanent removal spell for that thing.
Yeah.
It's just like bounce it and you just, exile it from your hand now.
Absolutely.
So.
Okay, we're here. Ashiok.
I like Ash, and Ashiok's spooky. And they've got smoke horns and,
Great.
and long creepy fingernails. And I feel like they could be doing more.
Our board game guy, Nicholas, loves Ashiok.
Yes.
So, Nicholas, this is for you.
Yeah.
How about some mono black devotion up in here?
This is what we want.
I mean, Gary
Give the people
is
what
here.
they want.
Gary's here.
And what they want is mono black. They want mono black devotion.
Yes.
Ayara, she's got 3 black mana symbols.
She's our preview card.
Yeah. Yarok's Fenlurker, which is
2
black.
Yep.
Let's see. If you want to play historic, you can put Phyrexian Obliterator in here. Yes. Black.
I played against that deck, by the way, in the historic open day 2.
I'm into this. Black.
Yep.
Yep. And then 3 black.
Yep. And then you can also
4,
put
5,
in
6, 7, 8, 9,
Massacre
10,
Worm.
Yes.
Which is black, 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 black.
Wait, black, black, black. No, it's only black, black, black.
I thought his headphones almost fall off.
It's 3 black, black, black.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. I can't. What's a Massacre G? Massacre Girl. Oh
yeah.
Massacre W.
Massacre W.
Oh, I love Massacre.
Yes, 3
yeah,
black,
you're right.
black, black. Okay, but like also, this is the card I want to play because Massacre Worm just comes in and wipes out everything else on your opponent's side.
And kills them probably.
Oh, I want to play this.
And playing with Grey Merchant of Asphodel 2 in this list is so fun.
Yeah.
If you've never garried somebody, you don't know the joy of it. And it is joy.
It is joy. There's something about playing a Grey Merchant.
There's something about Gary.
Oh, there's...
And I will never top that. 393 episodes in, and that is my proudest moment. And
that's the peak.
I will never pass that peak.
Goodbye, everybody.
I guess the
We're
show's
done
over.
for today and for forever.
Oh God.
But
anyway,
it's so fun.
It is so fun. And
I like mono black because like you can skew it aggro.
Yep.
Right? Like you can put in Knight of the Ebon Legion and Gutter Bones on one.
Yep.
Or you can skew it like control.
Absolutely.
And you can put in a bunch of removal.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Mono black, I feel like your moment is coming, even though you don't like the sun.
We want it for you.
We want it for you.
We want it for you.
Let's go to the opposite here.
Yes.
Mono white.
Oh, yeah.
Basri-Ket.
I was so impressed this past weekend with Basri's Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Right? The combination of Basri's Lieutenant and Venerated Loxodon is like, it puts counters on everything. Like, right? Like you can use that Loxodon to put counters on whatever. Like you can use the Lieutenant to put a counter on whatever already doesn't have it. And then you're just wrath-proof, which I never want anything to be. I hate being wrath-proof.
Why do you think it's wrath-proof?
Because it makes Basri's Lieutenant makes all the knights off of things that have 1/1 counters on them.
Oh, you're right.
Right? Like, and even if you're playing, if you're playing another aggro deck, like you can just block for days because it's like, oh, we trade, but you lose your creature and I get a 2/2.
Sick.
Like that's not a trade. That's
no.
Like
it's a bad trade.
No, it's a bad trade.
Yeah, and you're talking about the Mardu Winota list.
Yes.
That made the top 8. And honestly, a lot of the creatures, it did not seem like a weenie list at all. They were all huge all the time.
Like it would play Raise the Alarm, but then the next thing you know, they were 3/3s.
Yeah, yeah. And I
the
think
deck functioned really well without Winota. Like there were times when he would win and have never seen a Winota. And it's because there was a time when he had 24 power on turn 4.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
unheard of.
Just absurd.
Yeah, and I know people have been playing mono white for a long time, and I think Basri-Ket is poised to be a really good card in those decks. 3 mana Planeswalker is exactly what you want. Mm-hmm. The +1, I wish it was making a creature instead of putting a +1/+1 on something.
Yeah.
But there you have it. But the -2 is really, really great. Whenever one or more non-token creatures attack, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are untapped, that are tapped and attacking. The emblem, also kind of sweet, -6. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Reminds me a little bit of Ajani's Ultimate.
Yeah.
From back in the day. But yeah, I think this card's really powerful. It has the potential to be in a white weenie deck.
Only 3 mana.
Only 3 mana. We just haven't seen it happen yet.
Yeah. Like play that 1/1, right? Like the Mardu Winota list played Selfless Savior. The little 1/1 dog for 1. Like
Great
play
card.
that on 1, play a Raise the Alarm on 2.
Yep.
Like you have 3 creatures and you can plop this down and start putting counters on things.
Selfless Savior was the MVP in my historic Auras deck, by the way.
That card
obviously.
is excellent.
I mean, I was playing
it's like
Core Spirit
Dauntless
Dancer.
Bodyguard, but better.
It was 100% better. Completely free sacrifice effect, which is really important.
Like you don't have to pick the thing.
You don't have to pick the thing. You don't have to pay because you're usually tapped out from your mana anyway.
Yeah.
So
great.
A+ dog. Love that pup. Oh, we're going to talk about this this card, which
Maria could not remember the name, and the way she described it was nowhere near getting me to understand what she was saying.
So this is how I described it. All right, everybody, see if you can figure out which card this is. I said it's a crocodile-like thing with a lot of eyes, and then on Arena, its animation is bone-crunching sounds. Do you know what it is?
I didn't.
It's
I did not at all.
Fiend Artisan.
But yeah, like Fiend Artisan. And there have been the couple of times that I've seen decks that were trying to manipulate using Fiend Artisan, like they could make this creature very big.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. So it's like kind of like a little mini Goyf.
Yeah.
X and then hybrid black-green mana tapped. Sacrifice another creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less. Put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle your library. Activate this at sorcery speed. So
yeah,
it loves a graveyard deck. I've played against people playing this card in cool historic Golgari decks. Mm-hmm. We talked about it on the show recently. And so like, why can't we do this in standard?
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's pretty cool.
It's a cool card. If you like graveyard strategies, I think Fiend Artisan is poised.
And like tutoring up things, like which is like tutoring up creatures can be a powerful thing.
For sure. Absolutely.
So if you can find something that you really want to find and put into play, ooh, man. In Historic, I would kind of love to see this in like all of the mana, the Elves deck that happens right now.
Yeah.
But with Craterhoof, because you can make a ton of mana and then go find your Craterhoof.
Yeah. You can go find your hoof friend.
Go find your hoof friend.
Hoof it to me. This next card.
Hoof me with your best shot. Anyways.
Hit me with your best hoof, obviously.
Whatever. I think hoof me with your best shot.
We'll make a poll.
Okay.
I snorted twice now, so loud on this episode. Aluna, Apex of Wishes. We want a mutate deck.
Yeah, we do.
That's basically what we're saying. This card is extremely powerful mutate card.
Mm-hmm. And we had mutate decks for a little bit. And then they had to go adieu.
Yeah, they just couldn't.
There was like the Simic mutate.
Nothing could compete. Yeah.
And it had Auspicious Starix.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I bet you if you bust out that deck, if you were a person who is playing that and you bust that out right now, like as soon as this ban goes into effect, I think you're going to be okay.
It was a very powerful deck.
It was very powerful.
And it was a really fun deck too.
Yes. And especially if people kind of like turn towards aggro to try and figure out what to do next,
Yeah, and they will.
Like, exactly. It's one of, a classic in the cycle of like a new format comes around, bannings change things. People like aggro. It's going to be good against those because you make big critters. Big critters quick.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that it might be in an excellent position now.
Yeah.
And I just put this card in here because I think it's such a sweet mutate creature.
It's so cool.
It's a Flampler for 6/6. When it mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile an online permanent card. Put that card on the battlefield and into your hand. And it was in this Simic mutate list. You never.
So cool.
Yeah, you just mutated it. You never cast it really.
No.
Cool
though.
But yeah, and also I love Snapdax. So
yeah,
those two are ones that I think have the possibility.
Yeah. Ooh, up next is a deck, again, decks that were around for a little bit.
Yeah.
But draw 2 decks.
Yes.
These had things like, what's the Alliance one?
Improbable
Alliance, Ironcrag Pyromancer, and then just ways to draw a second card on your turn, to draw 2 cards on your opponent's turn, to get all of those benefits. Make fairies,
100%.
Deal 3 to things. And then now, like, there's Jolrael in green, who could maybe be, like, who makes cats when you draw a second card.
Okay, so Teamer, Jolrael?
Like, I would really love to see some kind of, like, Teamer draw 2 deck.
That sounds cool.
Like, make cats, deal 3 to things, make fair. Like, you could just get so much value.
I never thought about Jolrael being in this deck. That's a great thought. Yeah, control decks. You're not the only ones who get to have Jolrael.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like, I want to see it.
All right, I think that's a really sweet idea.
Yeah.
And these draw 2 decks were so fun too.
Yeah, exactly. They were also a great time.
They were like kind of like Phoenixy decks.
Yeah.
But I like the Jolrael plan, honestly.
Yeah.
Another card which I don't think got enough love / literal any play, Kaikar Wind's Fury.
Yes, so this is 1 blue, red, white for a 3/3 flyer bird wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying, sacrifice a spirit, add red. I would love to see like a Jeskai spells deck.
This seems like something you would love to play.
Oh, you know it.
You are Jeskai through and through. Let's get real.
It. And then maybe you like sacrifice a bunch of spirits to add a bunch of red mana, and who knows what you do with that. Who knows what
you sound so dreamy right now.
You could just do anything with it.
Who knows what you do with that?
It'd be really cool.
Do you feel like Jeskai is your best identity in Magic?
Ooh, man. Great question. I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Your best identity.
My best identity.
Oh man, we should do another quiz. Remember when we did a Cosmo quiz on this show before?
We should.
I loved the Cosmo quizzes. Okay. Well, put it on the docket because we had so much fun with those. All right. Yeah. So Kaikar, Winds Fury, Jeskai spells. Somebody make it happen because we're too lazy.
Make it happen.
I put on this list Steel Overseer, but I want to put it in concert with our friend Teferi, Master of the Bridge.
Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge.
What did I say?
Teferi.
Teferi's dead. Tezzeret. Long live Tezzeret. Teferi, Master of the Bridge. Tezzeret, that's Teferi and Tezzeret's son. Teferi, Master of the Bridge. This is a super cool artifact card that I've seen in Brawl, I think I want to say.
Yeah.
Creature and Planeswalker spells you cast have affinity for artifacts. Hello, cool.
Yeah.
6 mana Planeswalker for 5 loyalty, +2. Teferi, Master of the Bridge, deals X damage to each opponent where X is the number of artifacts you control and you gain X life. -3, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. -8, exile the top 10 cards of your library. Put all artifact cards from among them onto the battlefield.
Oh, man. I feel like, yes, right? Is Ornithopter in Standard?
Yes.
Like,
wait, is it in Standard or is it in Historic?
I don't know. I'm just saying that there's like, this has affinity for artifacts.
Yep.
You could play it for basically blue-black.
I know it's not in Standard, dang it.
Oh, okay. But in Historic.
Yeah, in Historic for sure.
Ooh.
That would be fun.
Right?
Yeah, I love this card.
I want to do like that how quick can you play Tezzeret challenge.
That's a fun challenge.
Yeah.
And affinity decks are really, really fun when they're not the busted Monarch deck. And Steel Overseer is in Standard, so that's something else you could think about doing. We talked about kind of a colorless deck with Eugene a few episodes ago, which I think now might be even better than it was then. Tezzeret, like, get out there and do some stuff. And by stuff, I mean, like, be really mean to people. That's your deal. Meghan, tell me about
Make it work.
This card, because this seems like you in a nutshell.
Sublime Epiphany. I would love to see Sublime Epiphany work somehow.
Do you think it's good enough?
It does a lot of things. Mm-hmm. It is an instant for 4 blue. It says choose one or more. Counter target spell, counter target activated or triggered ability, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, or target player draws a card.
Choose them all.
Like, with so many options, I feel like I just want to see it happen.
I mean, it's absolutely backbreaking and limited. If you cast this, you win the game.
I've gotten wrecked by this card in limited so bad.
I've been completely behind. Cast this card and then I win.
It's absurd.
It's absurd. So that's my question. Like, is it good enough to see play in Standard? Does it do enough? I mean, it does everything.
Yeah.
Like, you would play Cryptic Command, and I know this is not Cryptic Command, but like, it's the best we got.
It's really good. I would love to see this. I have a feeling like we'll see it at least show up at least a little bit.
Yeah, at least in a brew, right?
At least a little bit. At least a little bit.
The last card I put on the list was Voracious Great Shark.
Oh.
Because I wanted us to remember these bouncy flash decks.
Oh, I wanted us to remember Jaws.
Oh, Jaws. Yeah. Do you remember Jaws?
Yeah.
That scene when they're all inside, like talking about his time in the war, is one of the greatest acted scenes that I have seen in recent memory.
Wow.
That guy is an incredible actor.
Okay.
Incredible. And also, nobody shoots scenes like that anymore. It's like one take for, however many minutes. And maybe they do cutaways or whatever, but it was just felt so natural and it wasn't cutting to a different camera angle every 5 seconds. We were just sitting there and watching them act and do their thing. This is because I recently watched Jaws, everybody, okay?
I feel like you're remembering it with a specificity that I could not summon.
And also, it's like a real story that actually happened in the war. Unbelievable. Anyway, so... Okay, what was it?
I don't know, Maria.
Voracious Great Shark, Flash. When it enters the battlefield, counter target artifact or creature spell 5/4. The Flash mutate. There was like a Flash mutate list that was playing this. With also the little octopus that you love so much.
Sea Dasher Octopus.
Sea Dasher Octopus. And I think this was a really cool deck. Yeah. And it didn't really get to do anything ever because the tale of all of these cards where it was suffocated under the weight of wilderness reclamation.
It really was.
So breathe, my friends. Breathe. That was creepy. But you know what we mean. Yeah. And also, like, if there's a card that you're excited to build around, or if you've thought of a deck and you want to share it, please tweet at us at GLHF Magic. We would love to hear what we missed, or what you have really excited, what you're so excited to build now that you can.
Yeah. If you're a patron, share it in the Discord so everyone can chat about it.
Get in that Discord.
Everyone can give it a shot.
Guess what, everybody? We are back to being able to say thank you to Ultra Pro for being another sponsor of our show.
Right. They're so great. Also,
I'm so happy that Ultra Pro, they had to take a break in their production and everything because of shutdowns in California due to COVID-19. And we are so happy that they are back in production, back doing their thing. They even made PPE for healthcare workers out there, which was amazing of them. And we're so happy to be welcoming them back now as a sponsor of Good Luck High Five.
They just make like the coolest like play mats, which you can now, in a little bit at least on our videos, appreciate this giant play mat that is on our table. That has gorgeous art. Like all of the best art in Magic shows up on their play mats. Yep. Shows up on their deck boxes, shows up on their sleeves. So if you want to if you love Magic art and want to show it off, go to Ultra Pro. If you are like, I just want to protect my cards, go to Ultra Pro. They've got what you need. I love whoever runs their Twitter account because they like to show off all their new cool deck boxes and sleeves and put them in these sleeves go with this deck box, which is 100% the kind of Magic player I am. Yes. I like to swag everything out. I want it all to match and look beautiful. I just want a box to put things in. So see, you know what? Both sides of the spectrum. Yes, exactly. Ultra Pro serves you. Yes. Well, everybody, that's this episode of Good Luck High Five. Yes. We are so excited to be back in the office. Wow. Now you're the one banging on the table. Office. I know. Maria, you used to do it all the time. I know. I don't know if I did this episode or not. I don't think you did. Not. But yeah, this is so exciting for us to be in this space. Getting back to making content the way we want to make it for you. We can't wait to show you more of it. We can't wait to develop it more. Yes. We're so excited. Man, I want to show you all the really coolest thing that's going to be behind us on this wall. Oh, but you can't see it just yet. But it's going to be so cool. You can head over to our Instagram for a peek at it. Yeah, we posted a picture on Instagram. But yeah, this is going to look a lot better behind us. We're going to do a lot of stuff with how it looks with lighting and all that kind of stuff. It's all preliminary right now. So if you're like, you look like crap, don't worry. It'll look better. Wow, called out, but it's fine. It's fine because what's new, sucker? We just wanted this. We just wanted to get going in here as fast as possible. So we will be making it look better over the coming days and weeks. So stay tuned. It'll look amazing very, very soon. We've also got a new place to stream from, which will look great as well. A new place to do work and record all sorts of other things in our new studio. So exciting. So exciting. I can't overestimate this. Thank you to everyone who makes it possible by being a patron over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic, to our wonderful sponsors, Card Kingdom and Ultra Pro. All of you, thank you a million times over. Yeah. We hope that, we're helping you get through this year. Yes, absolutely. As you are helping us get through this year. Shout out once again to the Du Nord Foundation for supplying us with this new audio board. Yes. Which is absolutely a dream. I'm so in love with it. And what a lovely set of people also. Yes, 100%. We lost our other one in the flood. Our other board, not the people. Great point. Great point. Oh, thanks, everybody.